Welcome back to the wrap-up here on News Channel 10. Matt, our game of the week, a big one. And let's break this thing down. Dalhart looks like a 3A power to deal with in 1-3A. Borger comes into the game without a win. So what's going to happen here? It looks like a mismatch, but we saw this one coming all along. Borger played such a brutal schedule. Coach Young called him the best 0-6 team he's ever seen. Head coach Steve Parr agreed at Paladuro a couple weeks ago, and we saw them give Paladuro all they could handle.
We've seen Borger scrap. We know they can get it done on the ground. They got a good quarterback, a new head coach who's, he's fired up. He wants to be just as good as everybody else in that town wants them to be. And, they've played so many close games. They're not scared of anyone. And I promise you they're not going to be scared of a very, very good Golden Wolves team that's coming to visit them in Borger.
They get it at home after a bye week. Let's check our poll results, see what the fans thought. Dalhart projected to win by our viewers. 64% of the viewers think that Dalhart's going to go ahead and take care of business against Borger. Let's see what happened on the field.
Game of the Week, brought to you by Popular True Value.
Here we go. In our game of the week, we'll start you off in the second quarter. It's 14-13 Dalhart. Dominic Baca pushes for the first down on fourth down. Keeping it going, last seconds of the half, deep pass here, Skylar Wilt. Called for pass interference.
You can't do that.
We're going to continue the half. So we got one more shot at this thing, another great chance. Borger's Justin Thalander with a big defensive play in the end zone to break it up. Unfortunately, we got to the game right before halftime, so we had to go. But a very, very important point to that game. Dalhart gets the win in a tight one. This one back and forth all game long as we expected. But Dalhart's your winner, 23-20. All right, let's move right along to Pampa in River Road. And we pick it up in the third quarter, 6-6. Ryan Smith picked off by River Road's Matt Mars. Nice defensive play there for the Wildcats. Still third quarter, still tied up at 6. Cale Norman deep, looking, finding Tristan Beasley, but that one was incomplete. Cale Norman to Brennan Perry. Now this one for 30 yards. That's the big completion we were looking for. Then Ryan Smith, still 6-6. He's going to hand it this time to Sammy Smith. 10 yards up the field for the first down. Smith again. Sammy Smith again. Touchdown run. Made it 13-6 Pampa, and Pampa adds one more score to get the win over River Road, and Pampa off to a nice start in district play. 21-6, your final, the Harvesters on top. Matt, let's shift to 2A, and we want to come back here just for a second to acknowledge Caleb Wood, as he was picked by the Fort Bill Tough Players of the Week. They do that every week for the entire state. He was your 2A Player of the Week last week for his big numbers against Friona, so nice job there. Can he do it against Bushland in a huge rivalry game?
Well, they're 5th ranked in the state, or so I was told tonight at the game. So Bushland with a tall order in front of them, and they're going to have to try and get it done at home. Let's get to that game. First quarter, no score. Caleb Wood, our man, looking on the option, but he fumbles. Some defense to start the game for the Falcons. David Riley on the recovery. Then later in the first, ensuing drive, 4th down. Coach Flowers says, let's go for it. Taylor Cornelius back to pass. But Kenton Miller makes a huge play on defense for the Mules. That would turn the ball over on downs, and turnovers lead to points as Junior Baca takes the pitch on the option, and he takes it into the end zone. 7-0 Mules. He's fast. He's real fast. Later in the first, Cornelius. Off play action, looking for Colin Smith. And he gets it all the way down to the 6-yard line. They wouldn't be able to put it in the end zone, but they would get a field goal. 7-3 at that point. Muleshoe, though, rolls away with this victory, 40-13. Let's go to Canadian Spearman. Canadian looking to bounce back from that loss to Sanford Fritch last week. First quarter, no score. Kagan Breeden to Tanner Bard, touchdown. 7-0 Spearman. Then later in the first, it's Ben Arbuckle looking for Boston Hudson, and he finds him into the end zone. 7-7 a tie score. Then later in the first, Canadian with the football now. Arbuckle looking for Hudson, and he, number 2, catches his second touchdown of the game. Canadian gets a huge victory in this one. 59-12 as they bounce back from their loss last week. Let's get to Dimmitt and Littlefield. First quarter, no score. Eric Altavero looking for Omar Donez, the Purple People Eaters. And he's eating up yards. Nice catch. Then Littlefield, Cruzito, Lovato, or should I say, the Fridge Perry. Get off me. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Nice gain for him. Then Demadrick Moore. You saw Thunder. Now you see Lightning getting around the right side. Another big gain. Then it's Lovato. He takes it, fumbles it, picks it up. No big deal. Get you some. That's punishment right there. Punishment. Dishing it out. Littlefield, your winners in this one. 48-13.
All right, let's take you to Highland Park. How about the Sanford Fritch Eagles? Big winners over Canadian last week, trying to continue their recent hot streak. Colton Valley with a 49-0 lead takes the handoff, 12-yard gain. Next play, Andrew Reynolds. Another nice gain there by the Fritch quarterback, and then a couple plays later, a play of the week candidate here. Watch Colton Valley. Looks like there's nowhere to go. Defenders all over him, and then he turns on the Jets after some broken tackles. Long touchdown run. That makes it 55-0 Sanford Fritch. They go on to win it 61-13.
And let's not forget them. They were Dave Campbell's team of the week with their win over Canadian, so another big victory for them.
And they control their destiny there in the district. But very interesting. Post and Tulia, the Hornets. Hornets playing very well this season too. Post going to be tough though. And let's get these highlights for you. In the first, it's 14-7 Post. Tulia with the ball. Keith Brame makes the run, brought down by Dalton Hawley, though, but it's a big game. Watch Dalton Hawley. He's not going to give up on this. As Brame.
Look at Don Beebe.
Yeah, that's
Dalton Hawley, Don Beebe, same guy.
Nice job there, but you know what, Matt? It didn't matter because Brandon Jackson finished it off for a touchdown to tie things up at 14. This is one of our better games of the week. Very, very close contest. Pake Jones gets it for Post to Dalton Hawley. Big game brought down Brandon Jackson. We saw him on offense. We see him on defense. Still first, still 14-14. John Martinez this time. Keith Brame as Tulia gets it back all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. Tulia takes the lead at that point, 22-14. Back and forth and back and forth. Post in the end gets the win. Tough loss for the Hornets. 45-41 your final. Let's go over another score for you. Friona making the long trip to Childress. And Childress, the Bobcats win at home 45-0. Rounding out our 2A games, Matt, they were exciting.
They were exciting. We saw some big teams pick up victories. We saw Canadian bounce back from their loss last week. It's going to make that district just as interesting. And, we talked about district a million times. Next week, we're going to be all the way into it, and so the excitement's going to go from here to here between us because we've been waiting for it as long as they have, and it continues to be as exciting as we thought it would be.
Big one in 1A, Stratford and Sunray, Panhandle and Clarendon. Great rivalry games. We'll go there next on the wrap-up.